Hey, I'm FTFE. Welcome back to the channel that does to stupidity what Batman says he does not do to the villains that he faces. One sec. Yo, Bats. I thought you said you didn't kill.
Batman doesn't kill anybody. Those people are just sleeping. They're fine. Just sleeping. Dead. Asleep. At the bat signal, I have to go. It's an emergency. A bat emergency. Coming out for cream and 2 sugars. I'm Batman.
Yeah, we know. You're Batman. Anyway, Flat Earth is getting desperate. So desperate that they gathered the top minds of Flat Earth. And made a movie. Well, I say movie, it's more like all of the world's stupidity condensed into 1 hour and 2 minutes of pure cringe. I honestly struggled to watch this movie because my brain was attempting to escape out of my earhole so that it didn't have to endure that much idiocy. There is so much stupidity contained within this movie that I'll be splitting the debunk into 3, 4, or maybe even 5 parts. So sit back, relax, definitely wear your facepalm protection as I ruin Eric Dubays' day for episode 57 of Flerfs are Idiots.
We're living on a disk, floating through space, with a tiny sun.
Thank you for joining me once again as we look at some people who think you can't actually be this stupid, can you? Is a challenge and not a question. Yes, Eric Dubays released his Flat Earth movie, which he called Level, which is dumb to start with, as according to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, the adjective, the describing word for the word level, means conforming to the curvature of the liquid parts of Earth's surface. So I guess we agree. Earth is level, just not what you think level means. Now, the Flatties have put this movie on IMDb, which currently has this rating score. But before we start, I would like to read you the entry for Eric Dubays' IMDb page, because the Flat Earthers are so stupid they don't realise that anybody can edit IMDb. A conman that has fooled hundreds if not thousands of people into giving him money in a desperate attempt to keep from getting a real job, because he knows he is far too uneducated for anything short of a fry cook. His knowledge of science is the equivalent to that of a preschooler, yet his delusional mind is convinced that he is smarter than every astronomer and physicist that has ever lived. So, without further ado, let's have a look at the stupid.
So there it is. The Earth from outer space. Do you believe this is a real, live recording? Do you believe? How about now? Does this make it more believable?
No, Eric, sticking random shit on the screen doesn't make things more or less believable. I've frankly no idea if that is a real image or not that you showed, but it doesn't really matter if it's real because we humans have been to space and seen the Earth in its entirety, which is how I know how to make this awesome CGI globe, which I made using After Effects and Video Copilot's free Orb plugin. I made that with data from NASA and other space agencies, which we wouldn't have if we'd not been to space. Yes, CGI exists, but that doesn't mean everything you see is CGI.
Okay, well this is a different sort of video. It wasn't one I actually intended to make in any way, shape or form whatsoever. This is just looking at the television, and if you look closely, which I recommend you do, you can see this isn't actually real footage at all. This is all somehow CGI rendered whatever crap.
Ask yourself,
Is this real? Do you believe? Is this real?
let's try this another way.
Breaking news. NASA finally did it. They finally did it. They're finally live streaming the Earth spinning from outer space. The world is celebrating. This one will go down in history.
I mean, that's not really a new thing. There's been many live streams from space, including EchoStar 11, that streamed live to the Dish network for years. Or you've got Himawari 8 that takes a new image from space every 10 minutes.
Convinced? Well, if you didn't fall for that, then why would you fall for this? Maybe you just never
Paid attention.
When you do pay attention, you start to notice things. Are you paying attention?
Attention.
Good job, Eric. You noticed that the rocket in space has 2 cameras set at different angles, so that the engineers can keep an eye on the rocket's performance. But what's this? The Earth looks curved in one but concave in the other? The scoundrels! Are they trying to fool us? No, it's just wide-angle lenses that have obvious fisheye, unlike this footage from Mr. Sensible's Mage 2 project, that sent a probe with 3 cameras to the edge of space. One of the cameras was a specifically set up narrow-angle lens with reference strings in front to see that no curve is induced by the camera. And what do you know? You see a curve. As predicted. And there we go, guys, a handy list of the dumbest people on Earth for your reference. When those people die, the average IQ of the human race will double. That's a nice intro, but I think I can make it better with just one little creative change.
Did you know that starting at the end of 2015 through 2017, Flat Earth was one of the top search terms in the USA, let alone the world?
Look at Eric go, starting with an outright lie. According to data from Google, the biggest search engine in the world, if we look at the top 10 search results for the USA for 2015, 2016, 2017, the term Flat Earth appears a total of 0 times. This could be interesting. Let's get a Lies of Debate counter up in the corner and see how many we can get by the end of this 3 to 5 part debunk series.
While most of you were falling for the political charades, the rest of us were trying to discover the true nature about our world.
Oh, by the rest of us, you mean the people that like a hearty breakfast of the purple crayon? And by discover the true nature of our world, you mean misunderstand pretty much everything about extremely basic physics and think we're special, right? Fucking idiots.
My name is ODD-TV. I'm a local rapper here in Denver, Colorado.
I just want you to know the truth, so please don't shoot the messenger. It's a bitch, but this is how it is when you live.
I've been rapping for 20 years, just like anyone else. When you're a kid and you're really into music, you're into making music, every kid looks in that mirror and fantasizes about being famous.
Flat Earth rappers. Oh god, we all know how that goes, don't we? Here's Mr. Sensible listening to top Flat Earth rapper, Multi Tom Tom.
The earth is flat, the earth is flat. You know the earth is flat. Ain't got time for a meeting of the Flat Earth Society. But you believe in the lies of the Freemasonic Society.
And because I like to make my own music, I just decided, screw it. I'm going to make a YouTube channel and start talking in video.
So you decided to, instead of pursuing what could be a promising music career, spit absolute nonsense about the flat earth. You know what? It's absolutely amazing. In America, the land of opportunity, where you can be whatever you choose to be, you, ODD, chose to be a fucking idiot.
There has never been one experiment that proves that the Earth is in motion.
I mean, we've been through this. Bob?
If the Earth is spinning at one rotation every 24 hours, that means that every hour it has to turn 15 degrees. And if the gyroscope is mounted anywhere on Earth, it's going to drift. In today's 21st century navigation systems, they're using what's called a ring laser gyroscope. It is extremely precise. If we could simply get one of these ring laser gyroscopes, we would be able to prove once and for all that there is no rotation to the Earth. One of the people in the community actually purchased one for $20,000. But what we found is when we turned on that gyroscope, we found that we were picking up a drift, a 15-degree-per-hour drift.
When you try to find the curvature of the Earth, it's nowhere to be found.
You guys are so stupid. Jism.
If you're seeing through this hole, through the next hole, and seeing the light at the backboard, or at 17 feet off the water, the Earth is flat. If he's holding it up at 23 feet high and we're seeing the light, well, that's because the Earth's curved. So I should only be able to see it when it's at 17 feet. Okay, go ahead and drive down there, Enrique. You're gonna hold the light there. Enrique, how high is your light?
17 feet.
I mean, it's as, we don't see you, Enrique. Lift up your light way above your head. Interesting. Interesting there.
Unless you're looking at footage from GoPro cameras that have fisheye lenses, Hollywood movies, or NASA propaganda.
A little bit dishonest there, labeling everything from NASA as propaganda, so pre-dismissing any evidence from people that have, actually been to space. Lie to Flerf.
Started making the videos in 2014, early 2015. Started getting noticed. You're living in a world where there's fake people faking events on TV in order to move agendas forward. With the Earth being flat, I couldn't just sit around and do nothing.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't have done anything because the Earth's not flat, you fucking idiot.
There was videos everywhere. There was videos of people doing science, putting balloons up with a camera that doesn't have a fisheye lens on it, like a GoPro lens, a wide-angle lens.
I've never seen a video from a flat earther that sent a balloon up with a narrow angle lens. However, like I said earlier, Mr. Sensible did, and he had controls. Click the link up there to subscribe to Mr. Sensible's cat, Arnold.
And they were using these cameras that didn't have those. The horizon rose to eye level, which would be impossible on a ball that would be falling away from you as you rose up.
So you're saying that cameras with no fisheye lens were used? Well, let's take a look at the video that you're using and test that claim, shall we? In this 4 seconds of footage, we can clearly see a fisheye lens is used. As we place a straight line across the horizon on the first frame, we see a clear gap in the middle, indicating this horizon bends upwards at the edges. Is it ODD's contention the Earth is in fact concave like a bowl? Let's move the footage forward a little, and as the camera moves up and the horizon moves down, we can clearly see the gap in the middle get bigger. This indicates that the barrel distortion has gotten worse away from the center, showing that this lens is clearly a fisheye lens. If you have footage of balloons with no fisheye lens, why, in this movie, did you show one with fisheye lens?
And rose to eye level, which would be impossible on a ball that would be falling away from you as you rose up.
And no, the horizon most definitely does not rise to eye level. One of my favourite pictures to debunk this claim is from a fellow Flat Earth destroyer, MC Toon, who took this picture showing the moon above the horizon but below eye level.
There's people putting out top 10 NASA hoax videos, debunking the moon landing, picking apart NASA just left and right. It was awesome. Awesome time for YouTube between 2015 and 17.
An awesome time for YouTube, yes, because it gave people like me, Conspiracy Cat, Simon Dan, The Creaky Blinder, Team Skeptic and Mr. Sensible plenty of content to debunk. Sometimes it's like you morons write our content for us. Thanks.
Even Google mentioned it during their commercial. Do you remember this? Why would Google be promoting this?
As a joke?
As a joke? No. We know why. They were panicking. Panicking because the platform they purchased 10 years ago was collapsing with truth. The powers that be would not allow that.
No, Eric, nobody was panicking. Most were laughing. You never had big videos. Flat Earth was never trending. I'm adding one to the like counter.
As we want to provide users with authoritative, trustworthy information.
I'm sorry to cut you off. I only have a minute and a half, and I don't really need to hear what you're trying to provide. I want to know how you're dealing with all these conspiracy theorists on your platform.
So the first way is by demoting low-quality content and promoting more authoritative content, and the second is by providing more transparency for users. So we're introducing boxes that provide factual information at the top of results that have shown themselves to turn up a lot of information that is counterfactual, such as searching for the Earth is flat on YouTube, where you see a lot of...
Your response is to put a box saying, nope, the Earth is not flat.
Correct.
Okay.
So instead of deleting all of the millions of videos we have made, they simply decided to bring in their puppets to reiterate the agenda at stake.
Putting a box that says the Earth isn't flat is a good thing to do because it allows you to keep your videos on YouTube, but let people know they're full of utter shite.
We are already sufficiently motivated to invest the necessary resources and people in addressing this threat.
You can tell it's real because it looks so fake, honestly.
The Earth being flat is getting out of control. Can you please help?
Can you please help? When you stand on the shoulders of those who came before, you might just see far enough to realize the Earth isn't flat.
1 + 1 is?
2.
What color is the sky?
Blue.
And the Earth is?
Round. Second is here.
This float celebrates flat Earth theory that is spreading ironically around the
world and its possible roundness.
Spinning.
Now they are talking about it.
Yeah, we are talking about it because it's 2021 and people saying the Earth is flat is fucking hilarious. Flat Earth is the internet's pet rock. We keep it around to poke it every now and then to see what happens. Usually something stupid.
They want you to search for it because they already changed their algorithm to be set up in their favor.
What is this trash?
None of this tells you our side of the story. These are all videos they put together, so you can watch and learn nothing.
You can learn how big of a joke Flat Earth is, and Eric, your side of the story is just being willfully ignorant.
Nothing that any of us would show you. Like here, have you ever seen a time lapse of the sun? Does it look like the Earth is rotating backwards and the sun is still? Or does it look like our sun is simply moving across our sky, traveling away from your perspective? Again, but with some inversion. You can clearly see the sun, not only decreasing its size, but heading towards its next destination with a slight turn before it disappears from your line of sight.
Well, that video you just showed 100% looks like the Earth rotated away from the sun because the sun set. Something it wouldn't do if it was just moving away from us. I've made this 3D model using After Effects and Element 3D. I've set up 4 camera views. The one on the top right is looking from the position of an observer in North America at the sun. The sun's been placed about 5,000 miles up, and as you can see, at no point does the sun set. And I can assure you, After Effects takes perspective into account, but one thing you'll notice in the 3D model that I made is that the sun got smaller as it moved away, which, according to this video by Red's Rhetoric, where he used a solar filter to take pictures of the sun throughout the day, it does not. The sun retains its angular size in the sky all day long. Impossible with a local sun on a flat Earth.
while Google would make sure when you type in flat Earth that nothing like this would ever pop up. Many agree, the science regarding our sun is far from settled.
Add another one to the debate lie counter because no, Eric, no one would agree with that. We know exactly what the sun is. It's a nearly perfect sphere of plasma with a circumference of about 2.7 million miles, powered by a core of nuclear fusion sitting at about 93 million miles away. It's not our fault if, as a child, you huffed far too much glue to be able to understand that.
We're told that the sun is a massive ball of burning gas 93 million miles away.
Oh look, it's allegedly Dave. What have you been up to recently, Dave?
Well, I've been drinking urine now for...
Drinking urine?
But no, nowhere are we told the sun is a burning ball of gas. It's not burning, it's nuclear fusion.
But if that were true, then all the light that arrives here would be parallel because it's so far away. And it has to be parallel because one of the most often cited supposed globe proofs is Eratosthenes' experiment between Alexandria and Syene, by which he calculated the size of the Earth.
Yeah, that's right. Even 2,500 years ago, we figured out the Earth isn't flat. How are you going to get this wrong, Dave?
For that calculation to be accurate, the light must come down parallel. The only problem is that that's not what we see. If you go out on a sunny day with broken cloud, what you'll see is that light comes down at angles, diverging angles. And that means that we can follow those light rays back to the source and triangulate the sun's height above the Earth, proving that the sun isn't millions of miles away.
No, Dave, just know those rays you see through the clouds are actually parallel. This is a case where perspective is actually the answer. What you're seeing is a simple perspective illusion. For instance, you can watch a cloud get blown along by the wind in the distance, and the rays coming from the sun underneath the clouds shift along with it. Does that mean that the sun is in that cloud? Or look at this picture, Dave. Is the sun actually underneath those clouds? Or this picture, Dave. Is the sun underground? You fucking idiot.
It doesn't take a genius to understand that the further the light source goes up, the more the sun rays would spread out and become parallel.
No, it doesn't take a genius, Eric, and you most certainly are not a genius. A liar, a moron, a con man. Sure, but not a genius.
The reason you'd even think that the sun...
If the Earth was flat, wouldn't it be sunny all the time? I mean, have they ever even thought about it?
Well, if you'd let me finish, the reason you'd even think the sun would be visible from anywhere on Earth is because of the images they have shown you.
No, it's because that's correct. If the Earth was flat, you'd be able to see the sun everywhere. All at once. It would never be night.
No one promoting this bullshit stands for truth. You can keep believing in your fantasy gas ball 93 million miles away.
You can keep believing in your fantasy gas ball.
While we keep experimenting to try and figure out what the sun actually is.
You know what, it's cool. We've done that a long time ago. You can try an experiment, but we've seen what happens when flat earthers do experiments, haven't we?
And how close it could be. With a local hotspot, it should be easy to comprehend that the sun is small and close to you.
To put that in perspective, imagine a table 2 meters wide in a completely dark room, and you're holding a small but very bright light bulb, 3.4 millimeters across, and you are holding it about 31 centimeters above the table. What you'd see is a circular pool of light directly on the table, beneath the light bulb. But on the other side of the table, it would be in darkness.
First off, the sun doesn't have a lampshade or anything to make the distinct shadow that you have there. And even if it wasn't as bright as directly underneath the magic lampshade, sun, you'd still be able to see it wherever you are on a flat Earth, unless it's literally low enough that pilots have to avoid it.
Now, it seems to our mind that if you were on the other side of the table, you would see the light because it's, you know, above the table. But that's not true, because on that part of the table, it's in darkness, meaning that the light isn't physically reaching that part of the tabletop.
Excuse me, the fuck did you just say?
Why, Dave? Why is the light not physically reaching your eyes?
Your senses are correct.
We're also told that the sun sets because as the Earth rotates us away from the sun, it's actually obscured by the physical curvature of the Earth. That's not what we see.
What we see is a local sun that is taking its local light with it. What happened to the horizon glowing across half of the world?
Add another one to the lie counter for being so dishonest, Eric.
Most sunsets are already fading through pollution, dander, chemtrails, and fog. Plus, refraction will always make the sun seem like it's going down.
Ah, I see. Now you're going to pretend to understand refraction, which, of course, we on the globe side aren't allowed to use to explain your black swan image. Double standards, anyone?
As well as your perspective.
It would appear to sink down in your field of view. That's perspective. The further away you get from it, the lower it will appear.
But it would never, ever go below your eye level. And never, ever go behind the horizon. Which, by the way, I've been meaning to ask. What the fuck is the horizon on a flat Earth?
It doesn't physically change its height, it just appears that way to your eyes, until eventually it will disappear behind the horizon formed by your eye's vanishing point.
So much dishonesty. Look at the video that they are showing. Trying to say the sun is just disappearing because of your eye's vanishing point, which isn't a thing. But they are clearly showing the sun go behind some clouds. They couldn't be honest if they tried, could they?
Your eye has an angular resolution of 0.2 degrees. And anything at that height will disappear beyond the limit of your sight.
And nothing about diffraction, which is what you were trying to explain there, says anything about the sun disappearing bottom first over the horizon. Dave, you're a fucking idiot.
Many times we can see time-lapse footage of the sun that shows it getting smaller as it moves away from us.
Yep, because you never used a solar filter to remove the glare, unlike in the video by Red Rhetoric I showed earlier.
Now, that's not always the case, since the sun is travelling around the North Pole. The closer you are to the north, the less you'll see the size change. But from locations beyond the equator, you'll absolutely see the sun's size change. And that could never ever happen if the sun was 93 million miles away. You wouldn't see the sun change at all.
And you don't. When you use the correct equipment to be able to determine the actual angular size of the sun, you notice it never, ever changes.
Our eyes cannot see farther than what they were designed to see, but that is no reason to keep them closed.
But our eyes see whatever light hits them. There isn't a limit. You know what? Both of you just go to the remedial classroom. Okay, everyone, sit down and please shut up and stay shutted up so we can just get this over with. Fuck's sake, what is that smell? Oh, it's you, Mr. Pratt. What is it? You want how much? You want 100,000 to do what? To do science? Are you sure it's for science, Mr. Pratt? It's for a new water heater, isn't it, Mr. Pratt? Get out. Okay, some moron on your side of the stupid fence thinks that there's a limit to how far we can see. That's not how that works at all. Flat earthers are all fucking idiots. Our eyes are photon receptors. Photons are what makes up light. Theoretically, our eyes are sensitive enough to sense a single photon. As photons are light and will travel forever in a vacuum, that means we can literally see to the edge of the observable universe, as long as some light has travelled from there to our eyes. Now, get out. I need to cry myself to sleep. Wow, so much stupid to cover. But that is all that I can take for today. We are only 12 minutes into the 1 hour monstrosity, so make sure you smash the like button, subscribe if you aren't already, and hit the notification bell so you know when I release the next part of my level debunk. And we see how high the Dubays lie counter can actually go. Now, just before I finish,
I want to give a massive shout out to all my patrons and channel members. You are the reason that I can do what I love to do full time. There's a special place for you guys in my Discord. If you'd like to join the team, then head to patreon.com/FTFE or click the join button next to the subscribe button. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. I will see you next time, and remember, stupidity is not a right. Fight the flat earth. Fight the flat. 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 Fight the flat.